Hello and welcome to Back Nine coverage. We have the first round of the 2018 Jonesboro Open presented by Prodiscus, the third stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We are at the Disc Side of Heaven course here in Jonesboro. BigSexy commentary, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
And we had three scores on the front nine at 4 under, I believe. And Kellan was just a little bit behind us, but I'm still keeping together a pretty good round so far.
Yeah, definitely. Hole 10 starts us off on the back nine, par 3, 360 feet. Elevated basket, also kind of a low ceiling, uphill finish. It's a very demanding shot. I think we'll either see forehand flexes or maybe a fairway driver turnover play.
And the forehand play, although it seems so obvious, is actually pretty tricky because this green is so fast.
AJ looks like he's hanging out a little bit left. I talked to Peter McBride last night. He told me that Paige Pierce threw a truth and got a birdie.
That's impressive.
That's
the truth.
I sort of felt like no male player is even going to think about a mid here, and she's going mid. It's incredible.
Yeah, she's very impressive at disc golf stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And that just doesn't quite... that makes the skip on this hole is so tricky. If you hit the flat side of the upslope, you don't quite get the skip you'd like to the green. But if you hit the top of the hill, then you're going to skip way past the green.
Yeah.
I feel like the best play is flip up if you have that with the forehand.
Mm-hmm.
And this Wraith just didn't ever quite turn over the way I wanted it to.
That's the thorn world.
Yeah, that's bad in every aspect. It's just in a poor place and never had a chance. And Kellan has put his approach to about 10 feet. It'll be a par there.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
These are desperate times.
I'm trying to tap into my...
Great shot, but holy cow. If that's the option, you know it's a tough spot.
And it's crazy, this is like the we've mentioned on the front nine a few times. There's just so many... It's probably the loudest sound I've ever heard on a disc golf course.
Yes. That's second loudest.
Yeah, those barrels really produce loud sounds. But when you see us in just off the edge of the fairway, it doesn't look like there's that much in the way, but man, they're just thick.
Yeah.
Not many ways to get through. And a hole like this is just a right turning hole with a pretty wide fairway. It's pretty disappointing as a forehand player to not even have a look at birdie.
Yeah, you'd like to kind of press your advantage there for sure.
It's a pretty tricky hole.
Hole 11, par 4, one of the easier par 4s on this property. You're going to play a big hyzer as a right-handed player, try to get just around these hay bales, and then you've got either a turnover putter or forehand spike hyzer into this green. Really not a lot of trouble other than the really thick rough. You just got to play two pretty routine shots.
Yeah, the hyzer shot here is pretty easy, I'd say, but the one tricky thing would be if you go too long, you are cutting off your angle to the approach significantly. So it's really important that you make sure that you stall your hyzer so that way you don't drift too far. If you go too far, you really have no luck.
Yeah, it's not a distance shot.
No.
More of a placement. It's a 400-foot shot, but it's not a everything you got shot.
A nice hyzer shot there.
That's perfect. It's a little bit low, but I think it'll be okay.
And he's pushing this one with a little bit too fast of a driver, perhaps.
Oh, no, yeah.
And that's what we're talking about there. That angle is very difficult from there.
Yeah, I think the main problem there was just how low the shot was. You need to just let it get up a little and finish left.
And there's the hyzer shot that you're looking for, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm just reminded of something silly that AJ Risley did the day before.
You got to let the viewers know, man. You can't tease them like that.
Well, you see that hay bale there?
Yep.
In the background? We're waiting to throw our approaches, and then AJ says, "Hey!" and gets our attention. He's just pointing to the hay bales.
There's a nice shot around the corner.
And that was the drone that Austin likes to throw so much. And that was my mortar. Very similar discs and stability.
Yeah. See if he can get out of here. Nice. He has a little bit of room to swing his arm at least.
And I think that he made the mistake of maybe going too flippy, thinking that the flippy is the way to go. In that situation, I think you need to go with something overstable with a lot of angle so that it fights and drifts.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that understable will just drop on that much angle.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately he's going to have to settle for a par at best. Still has a little bit of meat left on the bone.
Ooh, a scary one, but it's in.
Hey, Jay Risley, everyone. With a little dance.
Oh, the ultimate troll. I like that. You're not the only one who can dance on an 18-foot putt.
I kind of actually forgot that I did that.
I like that. I got to do that to him sometime. Hole 12, par 4, 655 feet. You got to clear this OB area that you can see here and get onto the slope to have a really good chance at making birdie. But this is the slopiest green on the course. It's usually a blind upshot. Very, very difficult to stick your upshot close enough that the putt is easy.
You have to throw it so far up this hill to be able to guarantee yourself a look at the pin. And even then, I don't think that you can really get to a position where you can see that flag stick. So you really have to trust a spot in the background when you throw your approach. It's just a really, really fast green, as you can see.
Yeah. This needs to just stay out of that tree. Looks like it's just maybe kissed it, but that's fine. As long as you don't, if you hit that, likely OB.
Very fortunate break there. And Austin has a ton of power. Just didn't quite get the disc to turn over.
Going for everything. That's going to climb the hill.
Get over. Don't outdrive me.
Sorry, AJ. I got you that time.
Yep.
Get to see some of the power here from the young Kellan McCann.
Didn't quite get flipped, but it's nice and far still.
That'll do.
4 cross. Now it all comes down to trusting that spot in the background wherever you've chosen and hopefully getting something that lands kind of flat. And that is a great shot from back there.
Yeah.
And at that point, you don't know if it's rolled or not.
Yeah. You just kind of have to look at the catch cam guy and you just sitting there going, turn the camera around.
Yeah,
point it back at me.
Stop watching.
That'll do.
And what a fantastic shot there. And using the hillside for the feed down the hill. Really impressive shot there from Kellan. And AJ just, look at that.
Nice.
Maneuvering the hillside with a perfect angle. That also fed to the basket just perfectly. And
distance. It's in the circle, right?
in the circle.
Good.
Still more than you'd like to have left, but
But on this hole, I mean, anything in the circle, I'm pretty happy because that blind upshot is tough.
yeah.
A lot of things can go wrong.
I'd like to not be outside 20 feet with a drive that far.
Sure. Oh, no. Oh, good. At least it's turning back.
And that's the second time we've seen a disc start to roll down the slope
Yeah.
and then cut up.
Yep. Luckily, hit on a good angle to where it wasn't going to be able to gain a lot of energy.
You know, there's rollaways to be had, but we fortunately haven't seen any yet. And AJ with a quality birdie there after a very nice approach shot.
I think maybe he took so much time there because he's trying to think up
What
what
can I do?
flourish am I going to do here?
Yeah, how can I make this more fun than just a normal putt?
Yeah. Because you kind of put through down the gauntlet on him with that last dance.
Just got to elevate the game sometimes, you know,
Definitely,
Nate. Sometimes you got to change, mix it up.
Yeah. There's only a few ways into the Hall of Fame, and that's one of them. Hole 13, par 3, uphill, 353 feet. This one is very tough because the basket is so much farther left than you think it is. And even when you throw a really nice hyzer, it still usually is on the right side. You need to really use all the height that's available and play very tight to the trees. There's also kind of a backdoor forehand route. Have you been messing around with that at all?
No, that's too much for me. And that's a
Wow. That was
Almost.
an incredible shot, but that's a kind of a likely result. But to get that close to the basket at any point is very difficult.
And that's the first rollaway we've seen, actually. So, bit of a bad break there for AJ.
This has a chance to take some skips.
And then
Wow,
it's a sit,
dude.
and that's going to curl up.
Amazing shot.
And in any of my practice shots, I was no closer than 60 to 70 feet just because it's so tricky.
Yeah, this is more what you see. Like, this
Right.
looks like it's getting pretty left, but it's not even close to left enough to get to the pin.
You have to hug it so much tighter than you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And an early tree kick spells instant disaster.
Yeah.
So it's a really hard hole to get near the pin. And
This is probably not quite enough. Nope, not quite.
he's finished outside the circle, pretty close to where AJ's was, or where AJ's is currently.
Nice outshot. Oh, man.
And I kind of feel for AJ there. I feel like he did a lot to earn the birdie there and
I
just didn't
agree.
quite get the result that he probably deserved.
I agree. Nice. Sweet putt.
Full extension there. Earning the SloMez. Ooh, hangs in there. He knew that was a little bit left with that spin coming in. Great putt there from Austin.
That is great.
To throw with big power, you got to throw smooth. I see too many beginners that throw all tensed up. For more tips like this, check out our 2018 Disc Golf Guide.
Seen that one before, but still,
Yeah,
still
it's
pretty cool.
it's a repeat tap out for AJ.
Still
but,
cool.
Yeah, still cool.
Hole 14, par 3, downhill 520 with a ton of out of bounds that you have to clear. Even though it is downhill, that out of bounds is still quite a big throw to get across. And then you need to keep the disc really, really straight, finishing to get in here for a putt because there's bad rough on both sides.
I'd classify this as one of my favorite types of shots in the sport. I love downhill valley shots like this. And it just sets up for, I don't know, dream ace.
Yeah.
If you were to ring this up, it would
Totally.
be, it would be a shot you'd never forget.
Totally.
Anybody that was there would never forget it. And it's sitting up there on that log, just perched, just wanting to get ace. Somebody just throw a disc at me, please. That's what it's saying to itself constantly.
This could be a bit thorny. It might be pretty tricky for him to get out to the basket from there. We'll see. If he hopefully has a good line, he can jump putt his way, but
AJ, that's starting to drift in a similar way as Austin's shot off there to the right. Needs to get some low speed stability, low speed fade. That's going to be in a similar spot where it's pretty open, but you never really know exactly what you're going to get till you get down there.
yeah.
And Kellan going super wide with something pretty understable as well, but look at this
Oh,
thing.
this is doing good things.
This is drifting and
Wow.
inside the circle. That is so much fun to watch from the tee. Yeah, this definitely deserves a follow
Yeah,
flight.
look at how much width this gets. That's cool.
Come on, keep turning, keep turning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
520 feet of just pure beauty right there.
That's like 5 seconds that just explains why disc golf is cool. Just
I
watching that happen.
100% agree. Nothing prettier than a beautiful Anheuser flight. Being in a beautiful private area,
Sure.
it's awesome.
Ooh. It's an interesting spot to be, a little deep of the basket. You don't see that too often.
No, I wasn't expecting to have a downhill putt on this one.
No. Oh, man.
And that's a bummer.
I was
That's
hoping
such
he'd
a
stick that after that great drive.
such a bonus birdie to get. That's a bummer. I'm surprised to see that 12% of the field actually birdied this hole. I mean, that's
Wow.
that's quite a few players,
Yeah.
considering how difficult it is to control the flight for that long of a
Yeah.
distance.
Seppo Payu in my group put it like 10 feet past the basket. It was pretty cool.
That's just so pretty to watch.
hole 15, par 3, 270 feet. Probably the easiest hole on the course, I'm guessing. It's right in front of you. Simon Lizotte made the ace last year. Hopefully we can see some more fireworks this year, but it's just a little hyzer. Got to make sure you don't fly. I mean, the ace is kind of a risky play, honestly, because that's the only thing you could really do is skip it down that other side of the green, maybe.
Well, this is, I'm trying to go for an ace, but with a spike hyzer.
Sure.
Something that can potentially run it, but then also stick close to the ground.
That was beautiful.
That's kind of what I think Simon was going for last year.
Yeah.
Had he missed his shot, it probably would have been
more
like
20.
Yeah, tops. And Austin going for kind of a similar line there with the spike hyzer approach in that hillside. The hill actually, even though it kind of slopes away from the basket, it collects the hyzer pretty well. And AJ with a lot of steam here. That needs to slow down.
Whoa.
Yeah, a little bit fast, but that backstop there has kept him probably just outside the circle.
Okay.
Not at all what he's looking for there, but still looking at the basket for birdie.
Yeah, definitely. Uh-oh.
I put that napkin in there.
And that's a costly miss there. There's really nothing to hit. You can throw the shot as wide as you would like. Oh, man, this might become a problem.
Yeah, you don't birdie this hole, you feel bad, but if you don't convert on the par here,
Dang.
You're dropping 2 strokes to most of the field.
Yeah, this is one you would just never in your wildest nightmares, really. I mean, you're not thinking maybe I'll forward that hole.
Right. And on easy holes like this, typically you might see 60, maybe upper 50% of the field birdie it. 71% of the field birdie this hole.
Yeah.
And this is one that you just have to have.
Yeah, I think part of it is that it's a pretty easy hole, obviously, and the other part is that this is a really hard course. So you get to this one and you kind of feel this urgency, I think, just like, this is my one kind of, if you want to call it a gimme too, this is the one you're going to get.
AJ's just losing creativity points right now with these tap outs.
Yeah, definitely.
But I can't really say anything because I just tapped it in, and I was close enough to do something cool.
Yeah.
Kind of feel like I let my fans down.
They'll forgive you, I think. Hole 16, par 5, 855. This is the only par 5 on the course. It is very eagleable with a big drive. It's just you got to get to a perfect spot so that you can justify going over that water on the second shot.
I mean, as far as par goes in this one, that was very fortunate to continue going forward there. Way too early on that release. But, I mean, if we were going to relate par, this one to, let's say, like hole 2, for instance. This is a way easier 3, I believe, than hole 2 is, which is listed as a par 4.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And it's a very similar distance.
I think it's just the fact that there's the out of bounds that makes you make that gut check play
Sure.
to go over the water or not. This could be pretty good.
Yeah, AJ's put another nice little flexibility
I like
shot.
that roll back to the
Yep.
back to the right.
Started to drift off left, and then the disc said, "No, it's all good, AJ. I'm gonna leave you right here."
It's pretty high, likely to be kind of blocked behind the one tree that can block you.
We'll make that work.
Are you trying to play left of that tree?
Yeah, I'd like to be left because then it's an open hyzer
Cool.
approach, or maybe a forehand and hyzer. But Kellan showing off the baseball arm.
Yeah,
Look at
Kellan.
this
Oh,
shot.
nice.
A long forehand, late fade,
Very nice.
just outside the circle. Downhill putt for eagle there left. Very nice shot.
That gets a pretty high fanciness score.
It was kind of an awkward place to be. Really, the only play was to just throw it long. And just
Not bad, though. I mean, much easier birdie than had you pitched up to the water's edge and needing to go across now.
yeah, it took a little bit of time to figure out which was the smarter play, but that worked out pretty well. To have a downhill putt at it for eagle is, it's a great place to be.
Oh, man.
Austin hit the hillside and actually rolled backwards OB, and any approach that goes out of bounds on this hole proceeds to the drop zone, even if they did cross in bounds. So Austin's going to be throwing from there for his 4.
Is this an albatross right now?
I don't know how it didn't go.
Holy cow.
I mean, just a laser from AJ straight at the basket.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that deserved the FollowFlight. Maybe the angle of the camera wasn't good enough to quite get it, but that was just a frozen rope. And we're about like 70 feet or so.
Going for it a little bit.
Kinda, yeah. Would like to have a little bit more nose up to slow it down closer to the basket.
Sure. Here's an eagle putt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll cure what ails you after that bogey on the last.
Yeah, between those 2 holes, 4 and 3, 7 strokes overall is not that bad.
It's under par.
Yeah, it's under par, so. I had a
Snake bite you or something?
bird making noise while I was putting, and I told him to stop, and he didn't stop, so
Oh, God, birds.
I kicked grass at him. Show that bird who's boss.
Great eagle there.
I mean, that just looks so routine, right? Just
Yeah, it really
nothing
did.
crazy off the tee, just kept it in the middle. Second shot, I mean, crazy because it was such a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
But made it look so simple. 2 eagles on this card and a par and a birdie. So 5 under.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, for 4 people.
Hole 17, par 4, 660 through the triple Mando. OB left the entire way. The real problem here is you need a lot of distance before you can make this corner reasonably on the second shot. So you need probably at least 370 off the tee, and it's just getting narrower and narrower as you bite off more and more. So a very demanding tee shot.
Oh, I think it's one of the most uncomfortable tee shots on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I mean, and this is just, my perspective here, but it's blind.
Yep.
It slopes away. That fence gets smaller and smaller to landing zone all the way up the fairway.
Yep.
And it's a very small landing zone that you'd like to land in to have a look at the birdie.
Yeah, great shot, Kellan.
Just needs to get down.
That's beautiful.
Is that in?
No, he is going to be by a mere foot or so.
At least he should have a good angle from there.
And
Oh, this looks pretty OB.
yeah, there's nothing good about that.
Trying to go with kind of an Annie release.
Yeah, and just totally released it flat to hyzer with no ante whatsoever. And that was just a complete shank.
I won't argue with you.
Yeah, if you did, you'd be wrong.
Forehand can work, but it's huge.
It's so hard to get to that landing zone without fading and sloping and rolling away. And once you get down there where Austin is, the angle to the basket is almost impossible. You really have to stay up this hill to be able to look down.
Yeah, there's no play from there.
And that was looking pretty good. That little nick there put a little nose up on it, which,
Oh, good tree slowing you down.
yeah, it's within about 33 feet
Okay.
for the par save. And AJ will have that putt from about 50 feet to continue his 3 streak on the back 9, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
On par 3s, 4s, and 5s, he's taken 3s on the entire back 9 so far.
Wow. Oh, weird. Little hang up in the bush. That'll be a bit of a death putt.
Yeah, and Kellan trying to save his par probably stopped him from getting another 10, 15 feet closer to the basket.
This is a high risk play right here. Pretty well done, though. At least if you overcut it, that's the real problem. If you put
Okay.
too much cut, you can go straight back in the thorns. But he looked like he put the weight on that pretty well. I mean, it's like a 10 out of 10 for difficulty to try to get the forehand roller in the
All
circle
the way.
from there.
Yeah, that would have been a very impressive feat, to say the least. And AJ's unable to keep the 3 streak alive. He's going to have a little bit left there for his 4.
Yeah, that's not an easy putt. Wow.
Kellan, another great putt. He's putted some really nice saves so far this round. And a couple of his misses were just off the top. I mean, he's been really close to just putting together almost flawless putting round.
Just off for your par. AJ for par. Dang.
High and just off to the center side or left side of the center. Usually isn't going to be that good unless you're about another 6 to 8 inches lower than that.
In for bogey. AJ also looking for a bogey. One hole to go, and it is a brute. Hole 18, par 4, way uphill after clearing the valley. There's a couple landing zones. None of them are really, really good. You're gonna have to throw 2 special shots. You know, I think over to the right is probably preferable if you can throw really far and somehow finish right without going in the woods. Then you have kind of a hyzer play. That's his goal here, but I think that needs to flip up a little more.
Yeah, it's just so tough to get to the landing zone with a forehand. But
that's there.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, Kellan is throwing a great shot there. To get past that bunker that you see there is very hard to do. And Austin maybe tries to make the correction, make it flip up a little bit more, and has kicked off a tree and has landed just over the fence out of bounds there.
Insult to injury there. You would hope that at least the trees would keep you in bounds.
And AJ as well is going down the middle and is going to try to throw a turnover to get to that landing zone off to the right. And even though he caught a little bit of foliage there, he has managed to get
great.
to a pretty ideal landing zone. I'm going with a Star Destroyer here, just trying to... I'd like to have that about another 5 to 10 feet higher to get way up the hillside.
Congrats.
But
overall, still, you're happy with that. I mean,
that's the landing strip that I'm going for to go for the backdoor approach to the basket.
Position play here. Hopefully get around. Yeah, that shouldn't be too bad.
That's a nice shot from there. I mean, he didn't really have much of a run up to speak of, and able to get around those tree bunkers in the middle of the fairway is pretty impressive from there.
Oh, no.
It's going to leave some work there for Kellan to finish up his round.
This has some promise. AJ swinging out nice and wide. Does it have the distance? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great shot there. AJ's going to be looking for a quality birdie finish from about 20 feet to finish up this round.
Yeah, and there's OB everywhere up here by this basket, so it's not over till it's over.
And didn't quite have exactly what I'd feel comfortable with going for the backhand turnover approach, especially after my last tee shot just went straight out of bounds. So I ended up going with a more safe forehand approach to give myself a look.
Yeah, set up a long putt.
Austin needs that to get down. There's Opie on the left side. Even though there's a wall, he's safe, but not the putt you're looking for bogey.
No. This is for a huge birdie.
Not quite.
A little too high, but settles nicely.
Kellan with a par finish there. Quality round for the young Kellan McCann. First time on camera. And
just off to the right.
And Austin's going to be settling for a double bogey. This hole almost plays like a par 5. You could argue that that's just a bogey and that this is an eagle putt. But
that's perfectly done by AJ. Really an amazing 3.
Yep.
How many 3s for the field?
Not that many.
Germ in for the par.
It's the hardest hole in the course in terms of scoring average. It comes at 4.38. AJ saying hi to mom. 11% of the field with 3s. Not many to speak of.
Wow.
Quality way to finish the round.
So there you have it, guys. That is our first round coverage. We have got a look at the leaderboard here. Garrett Gerthy with an incredible -14. Trio of well-known names there at -12. And a bunch of -10. So the action's definitely heating up. We've got snow on the ground right now out here, so this morning has been pretty wild. We're teeing in the afternoon, so we'll see if it sticks around, but it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, be sure to join us for the second round of the 2018 Jonesboro Open.